brought us the Holocaust. We can joke about anything when you're in seminary. And this is what he said. He said, well, you know, we Germans love two things. We love to wear uniforms, and we love to take orders. Occasionally, this gets us in trouble. But he said, apparently, when his family moved from Germany to Canada, his uncle, his brother, moved to somewhere here in the United States, and he said, we're so glad that we moved to Canada because Canadians love to follow the rules too. And you know, that's very true. Many years ago, when I started my spiritual direction practice, Bishop Griswold gave me a little office in the diocesan center, which is at 65 East Huron. And back in those days, it was also a long time ago, you were still allowed to smoke inside office buildings. And at that time, I was a smoker. How convenient. And but the only room you could smoke in was the lunch room. So I was up there at one point, 11 o'clock in the morning. I had a little break. I went up for a little cigarette. And the treasurer of the diocese came in, and she said, you know, there's no smoking allowed in here between 11 and 1, because that's when people might be eating their lunch. They don't want to eat their lunchroom. Oh, thank you for telling me. I'm a Canadian. I hate to break the rules. Rules are actually very, very important. We're baptizing the babies this morning. How many of you in here were parents? And at some point, as the children are being raised, had to introduce them to the concept of rules and expect them to live by them. There you go. Only Pat. It happens all the time. I've told this story before. It's one of my favorite stories. My middle grandson is a little boy named Kirsten, and he's a go-getter. When he was about 1, he and I were alone at home one day for lunch. And so his mom said, this is what he'll be eating for lunch, please feed him. So we did that.